In a world full of conventional Hollywood cliches and recurring lackluster sequels, one critic has seen it all, who can provide you with all the movie news, opinions, and reviews that could very well save humanity as we know it. This is Libby's Movie Hunt. And now, your host, Libby Hunt.
Libby Hunt, along with my buddy Kevin E.
Hey Libby, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Fun. Well, we don't have a lot of good movies to talk about today. I'm kind of sad about that.
I know. How long are we going to be in this slump?
I know. God, we need some good movies.
I'm holding out for next week. Alien Covenant. I'm super pumped.
Yes.
I'm 95% sure I will love it no matter what. So,
what did we think on Rotten Tomatoes? What was it saying?
It's saying 75.
Okay, that's good.
And it says it provides a lot of the stuff that people like about the other Alien films, but it doesn't necessarily do anything new or groundbreaking. But I'm fine with that.
How
good old-fashioned
many movies
Alien.
is this, do you think?
Okay,
Alien?
let's see. There is.
Is it 8?
There are 4 aliens that have Sigourney Weaver in them. There's 2 AVPs, so that's 6. There's Prometheus, that's 7, and yeah, this would be number 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But so, who's the girl in it this time? Is it somebody we? It's somebody we know.
I don't think so.
No?
It's not the one that I'm familiar with.
But I'm excited.
I'm
loved
excited.
Alien. I saw it aging myself in like 1980, 79, 80, 81 or something, and I loved it. I've been a fan from the very beginning.
Well, I should pull up the info just to let our listeners know they are re-releasing Alien into the theaters. I'm not sure when exactly that's happening. They do it almost every summer, especially with the AMC Classic series, but I know at some point there'll be an Alien re-release, so I will definitely go check that out.
Yeah,
in the
well, they
theater.
should do it right before next week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, speaking of old movies, last night, so I've told you before at Magnolia, at some of these kind of more art house places, I see old movies, and last night they showed Mommy Dearest. Have you ever seen that about Joan Crawford?
I actually have not.
Well, you know the movie star Joan Crawford. Her daughter, Christina Crawford, who she adopted, had written a book about her. You've heard about this, Mommy Dearest.
Yes.
And how she was abusive. And Joan Crawford had adopted 2 children, and then later in life she adopted some twins. But she, what I didn't know about Mommy Dearest, the movie, I hadn't seen it on the big screen. You know, it's become a cult classic. And in the theater, I was just going because I was always a fan of the movie. It's kind of campy and, you know, it's a funny movie.
I'm good with campy.
It was very campy, but it was an interactive thing, kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everybody in the audience that came last night was chanting things. Like when Joan Crawford goes crazy at her daughter that she used wire hangers instead of the... Have you seen the movie?
No.
She's very abusive to her young daughter, and just she obviously was borderline personality or something, Joan Crawford was. And she screams, "No more wire hangers!" And the whole audience is yelling it. I mean, it was like an interactive movie experience.
See, I've never done one of those, but I've always been curious.
I've done like Rocky Horror Picture Show and those, but I didn't know they did it to Mommy Dearest.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So when she's about to chop down the rose tree in her sequin gown, they're all like, they chant that out. I mean, it was hysterical. And every time they would come into some dramatic 1950s pose of Joan Crawford, it was just funny.
Did you know beforehand that it was going to be interactive?
No, I thought I was just going to see it, Mommy Dearest. So that was fun.
That is cool.
But also to our listeners, right now...
Was there alcohol served at this
yes,
event? Okay,
yeah.
I figured so.
So that helps.
That's more fun.
At the Magnolia.
Need some adult beverages.
Yeah, Magnolia and Angelica both serve alcohol, and the studio movie girls too.
Yes.
But also right now, it's the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Fever, one of my top favorite movies with John Travolta. And so that's in all the theaters right now.
And that's one of those fascinating studies of cinema. I can think of one other example, but where the spectrum goes so opposite, because Saturday Night Fever was such a huge hit.
Huge hit.
And then Staying Alive was like one of the biggest bombs of all time.
I know, the sequel.
Yes, it's just like how at one time, I think they've actually shifted now because people still add new reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but at one time, Jaws had a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes,
right?
And Jaws 4 had a 0.
Oh,
I'm like, they covered the entire spectrum.
That's crazy.
It's kind of like that with Saturday Night Fever, I think.
Have you seen Saturday Night Fever?
Yes, I love the first one.
Well,
I mean, of course, the original.
But okay, I loved it so much too, but I went to see it last year. I guess it wasn't the 40th anniversary, but on the big screen, I don't know. It wasn't as special as it seemed like I'd seen it years ago. I don't know why.
I mean, that is kind of strange. Because like
was.
sometimes you have that experience. I remember I went to see, what was it? Back to the Future was in the theater again. And it was like seeing it for the first time on a big screen. Like, it
Right.
was so cool. And then I'll go and see something like Ghostbusters, but I'd seen it a million times, so it wasn't really.
You were a little- I know,
It
maybe
kind of just
I've
felt like I was at home watching it.
I'd seen Saturday Night Fever so many times on the TV, maybe that was why. And also, I just loved the Bee Gees so much at that time, and I'm not as big a fan of the Bee Gees now. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
me too.
So
But
it's out right now.
Great music.
And then also tonight at Studio Movie Girl, they're playing The Wizard of Oz on the big screen. I was thinking about going to see that.
That's pretty cool.
It's just so fun to see these old
Oh, I
movies
love
on
it.
the big screen.
I love it.
I mean, I don't think I've seen The Wizard of Oz on the big screen
I
ever.
haven't.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
mean-
I look forward every summer to the AMC Classic series.
I know. I need to start looking for the AMC Classic series because I do the art house places.
I never think to buy the season pass, and I always should because I
You
end up
can?
seeing almost all of them. Yeah, you can buy a pass. It's not much. It's like 30 or 50 bucks or something. You can see every single one that they do for the whole summer, and they do one a week.
Okay, we'll
And
see.
Cinemark does it also, but theirs is called something different. I don't remember. When I lived in Denton, I used to go all the
Well,
time.
do
to those.
you? I have to just kind of look at the movie every day because you never know what's going to pop up in some of these theaters like that. Like, I just happened to look at the movies today, and I use Fandango. What app do you use? I think people are like partial to their movie app.
I
Movie phone?
will always go to. I just Google whatever movie I'm looking for, or if I'm planning on going to a specific theater, I'll just punch that in. Like I'll
Okay.
search Cinemark West Plano or Alamo Draft House.
So that's how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I always use Fandango, but I found that people, I guess you young people do it that way. I found younger people do it. But my older friends, we either use Fandango or Movie Phone. Isn't that funny? Do you remember the old day when you call Movie Phone?
444 film.
Yeah, and they would talk you through it,
Yep.
and you didn't get it the first time. Sometimes
Never.
you had to listen again.
And then for a while, it was like say the name of the movie,
Yeah.
and that really annoyed me. I'm like, just let me punch in the letters.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so
And
funny.
then there was that Seinfeld episode
Oh.
where everyone where
Hello,
Kramer's
this
number
is Movie
welcome to
Phone."
Movie Phone.
That was so
Why don't
cute.
you just tell me the name of the movie you'd like to see?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's talk about movies. Okay, well, a couple of movies that are coming out this Friday that you and I didn't get to see are King Arthur with
Yes.
Jude Law, which I'm a huge, King Arthur fan.
And Charlie Hunnam. I believe.
He's in it. But it doesn't look very good, and it got 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
And I was not that surprised because I agree it didn't look that good. Every once in a while you have one that will surprise you, like Noah, the Russell Crowe Noah's Ark movie. I didn't think that looked good, but
No.
it got great reviews.
Right.
So I was shocked. So I'm like, well, maybe King Arthur will be cool. But then, yeah, it came out 23%, and I don't think either of us were too shocked.
I may blow it off for 23%. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
still go. Like you and I were talking about this, The Circle with Tom Hanks is the same thing. It's like 23% or something. And I'm still just like, do I need to go because Tom Hanks is in it?
Yeah.
You know?
And I was going to still go, even with the bad reviews, until I heard, yeah.
It's in the 20s. We
Yeah.
probably shouldn't go. Waste our time. I mean, that's $10 wasted, an hour, a couple hours of our life.
Yeah.
Okay, another one I was so excited about because Mother's Day weekend is Snatched with Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn. And I believe Amy wrote it with her sister about how they're Goldie Hawn and Amy Schumer. Do you know anything about it?
I really don't know
They
much
go
about
on
it. I
a
mean,
trip-
how long has it been since Goldie Hawn was in a feature film?
It's been a while.
A long time.
But she plays Amy Schumer's mother in the film, and they go on a trip to Mexico, and they get kidnapped, and it looked hilarious, and it got 38% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It did.
I'm so sad.
Consensus says Snatched has a pair of terrifically talented stars, but their presence isn't enough to compensate for this. Sorry, my screen's small. For this road comedies, threadbare plot, and scattershot laughs.
Oh, I'm so sad.
But you know how it is with comedies.
Oh,
It
I'll go.
It's very subjective when it comes to
Yeah.
a comedy.
Well, I'm going to go because I love Goldie Hawn, and Amy Schumer I'm actually kind of a fan of. But this was kind of a fun thing I saw on all, Access Hollywood and all that stuff. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell both got their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame last week.
That's right.
Yeah, because a lot of times they do that before an opening of a
Yep.
movie. And so that was fun that they got that together. I think that's so cute. They've been together so long.
And that's funny that now they both have a movie out.
Yeah.
So
And he doesn't age.
no, he's
it's
still great.
Crazy.
He was. I thought he was in Deepwater Horizon. I thought he was real
He's
good.
and he's right now in
Guardians of the Galaxy.
which
Yep.
we'll talk about in a minute. So those sorry people out there, we didn't get to see Snatched or King Arthur, but we probably won't see King Arthur.
we probably won't.
to give you any scoop on it. But a movie I saw, well, we'll talk about Guardians of the Galaxy in a minute because you and I both saw it. Or you didn't see it.
I did.
Okay. I saw, because I'm a huge Richard Gere fan, was The Dinner. And it got 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. What would you consider 53%? Not,
On our scale, I would call it half pop.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to give it. It has also, so Richard Gere, who plays a congressman, Laura Linney, Steve Coogan plays his brother,
A lot of good people.
and Rebecca Hall, who I love. She's been in a ton of stuff. Chloe Sevigny,
I can never get that one either.
whatever.
Yeah.
She's in it. The director is Oren Moverman. He did. Oh, he also has done Norman, which Richard Gere's in right now. He did Love
Right.
and Mercy. Overman. Yeah. Moverman. I don't know.
I'm trying to pull. Oh, that's yeah. Moverman.
Yeah.
Moverman.
But he's done a ton of stuff. He's a good director. But he also has directed Norman, I believe. Or he co-wrote it or something. But this movie, The Dinner, is about this congressman, Richard Gere, and his brother, and they meet for this dinner, and they discuss this crime that their two sons that are cousins have committed that nobody knows about yet, but they know about, and what they're going to do about, and all these things. And it has such potential to be so interesting. All the characters you delve into, Steve Coogan has kind of mental issues. You delve into their relationship as brothers. You delve into the sister-in-law's relationships, the ex-wife, which was Chloe. But at the end, it just falls apart. It's one of those movies, literally. There was quite a few people when I saw it the other day. One girl got up and left, because
That's never a good sign.
I know. I was like, uh-oh. And then at the end, in the theater, you could tell we all just went, huh? The end just is like, why?
One of those endings.
Oh, you're just
I hate when they do that.
It doesn't have an answer at the end. And so it just leaves you
It's like The Sopranos.
hanging, but not in a good way. The Sopranos was an okay ending.
You're right. That's true because it leaves it open to a lot of interpretation.
This was
and
like, huh?
keeps you talking after. Yeah.
Yeah, this one you're like, really? I sat through that and that's that? So, no. I give it a half popped. But this is another interesting thing. Laura Linney, you and I talked about this, who plays Richard Gere's sister-in-law in The Dinner. This is their third film together, Richard Gere and Laura Linney. They did Primal Fear together with Edward Norton,
Great movie.
where they're both lawyers, and they did The Mothman Prophecies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
which
about that.
I loved.
I saw that in the theater.
Did you like that?
I did.
I thought that was such a great movie.
That was a cool movie.
Really, really good movie.
I ended up reading a whole bunch of stuff on the Mothman later.
I know. It's made you kind of go, are people really like Alien?
Is this for real? Yeah.
A real alien.
It was Slender Man.
Slender Man. But so I thought that was kind of fun. They have a good chemistry on screen together. They're both great actors.
They are.
So I'd say half popped on that one.
Half pop for
don't
the
waste
dinner.
don't waste your time. But Richard Gere right now has out a movie called Norman that I'm dying to see with Michael Sheen, Steve Buscemi,
I love Steve Buscemi.
and who he plays a New York City fixer, and it got 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
It looks like one of those movies that maybe Richard Gere could be nominated
Yeah.
for. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So that looks good. So that's the scoop on that. But I think it's interesting. He has two movies out in 1 week, and one's really good and one's really bad.
Yep.
Isn't that funny?
That is, it's weird how that happens. Well, it's kind of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn both have a movie out. One's really good, one's really
That's true. That's true. I saw Richard Gere interviewed, though, and in Norman, I thought this was kind of funny because I think he's just dreamy, handsome. The costume director said, you're too handsome of a guy to play Norman, this kind of goofy New York fixer guy.
Right.
Jewish, and so what they did is they took tape or something and pushed his ears forward to make him kind of look goofy. So I'm looking forward to seeing that movie to see Richard Gere not look quite as cute.
Kind of like Matthew McConaughey in Gold.
Oh my God, he looked horrible.
Christian Bale in American Hustle.
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of a funny little tidbit.
Yeah, that is, absolutely.
So, okay, tell us about Garden of the Galaxies.
And you did not see the first one.
No, Kevin, and I'm so lost.
You felt lost with it?
I enjoyed it, but I don't even know what to tell. What is it about?
I think it would be a lot like if you saw Avengers Age of Ultron before seeing the first one. Because the first Guardians of the Galaxy is all about how the Guardians come together from all their various different areas,
Right.
and how it all is formed and they become a team. And you actually understand what the Guardians are. You learn more about Star-Lord, who is Chris Pratt. and then, you have the whole blossoming of Star-Lord and Gamora thing. And then they kind of start, just like Avengers Age of Ultron, at the beginning, they're already the team, and they're already the
Okay.
Guardians, and they're already, working together. And that's exactly like Avengers. So without context, you don't know how this team was formed or who they are or what they're doing. And I can see where if you hadn't watched the first one, it could seem overly cartoony.
I was
With the raccoon
confused.
character and Baby Groot and all these, I absolutely understand where if you hadn't seen the first one, it may not be as enjoyable, but it definitely is not as fresh feeling as the first one. I mean, the first one, I had
People
low
loved.
expectations. Yeah, because I didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was, and I'm a comic fan.
But it's that Marvel, like, in fact, the guy that does those comic books has a little bit part in this one.
yes,
He's in all his
Stan
movies.
Lee pops up in every
Stan
one.
Lee?
Yes,
Yes, he has. My son said, "That's Stan Lee," and I was like, "Oh, it is."
he always pops up.
But it got 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And I would say that that's about what it deserves.
Popcorn worthy?
Yeah, it's a very similar feeling to Avengers Age of Ultron, where when I was watching it, I enjoyed it, but now when I think back on it, I forgot a lot about it.
Right.
And I think that will happen with Guardians too, because it didn't have as much substance.
Well, so I saw it too, but what do you think? I thought it's a running time of over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not, it's a
I
little
felt,
lengthy.
Again, 20 minutes too long.
Yeah. They spent too much time on, first of all, did you have that feeling that it's chaotic in the sense that there's just too many characters?
Yes.
People
many
that I didn't even
characters.
expect. Yeah, and they have new ones, like you got Kurt Russell thrown in there, and it's Sylvester Stallone. and
which was
odd.
who was he in it? Please explain to
See,
me.
that I don't really know.
Well, I
'Cause
don't
know these characters that
Wait,
well.
he play.
And he's not in the first one.
He plays Starker Ogard or something, but I don't know what his character was there for.
I don't either.
But can I let me read? Okay, so Chris Pratt plays Peter Quill,
Yes, or Star-Lord.
and he's protecting their batteries. I mean,
The batteries are, yes, what everyone's after and what they're protecting. It is hard to explain, but
Right.
yeah, but that's the sense. The batteries
Okay.
are the whole thing.
Okay, well, I didn't. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. But this is what I thought you'd like. Did you see the parallels in the Star Wars parental situation,
Definitely.
like Darth Vader?
Yes. It is sort
I
of...
don't want to give anything away,
But there's an Empire Strikes Back-ish
thought
arc to it.
I thought about you,
Which
'cause
was cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't you like that?
Yes, and that's the one thing I like is that the space aspects of it. I don't like the cartooniness as much. That's my one hang up with Guardians.
Yeah.
And with Marvel, when they do movies like Iron Man, they found a way to almost make it seem realistic. Like, this maybe could actually happen. Where Guardians, I never have that feeling.
Right.
The same reason
Exactly.
I don't really like Thor as much, because it just seems way too fantasy for me.
Right.
Even more so than Star Wars.
That's true.
But the music is excellent.
Music was good. It was fun music.
It's very fun music. You get the awesome mixtape number 2.
Right. I love that.
So that's good.
But let me ask you, my two favorite characters in it were Bradley Cooper, Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon is my favorite.
Love. Like, I loved that character so much that I like to see him have his own movie.
Yes.
And you know
and
who
he's
else?
great in the first one, too. Developing that character. There's a lot of good stuff
Love
with
that.
it.
But this is who I absolutely adored. And again, I'm going to butcher his name. Dave Bautista, who played...
Yeah, Dave Bautista plays Drax.
He's actually a wrestler.
The Brute. Yeah, exactly.
Loved him. Do you?
Yeah. No, he
his
is
Was
great.
he in the first one?
Yes.
Okay. Another character I loved, and they say it's Vin Diesel as Baby Groot.
Baby Groot, who was regular Groot in the first one.
But he
So it's
doesn't.
a complicated story.
With Vin
but-
Diesel has that cool voice. They don't have him talking
Well,
at
I
all.
wonder, is it him and they're just manipulating it? Because he's still cast as, I mean, on the credits it says Vin Diesel's Baby Groot.
But he's
So that's
doesn't
why I was
say anything. He kind of
confused.
grunts and he doesn't. I loved that character too, though.
Yeah.
Very darling and likable. Zoe Saldana.
But no, actually, no, Drax's character is a new character. Dave Bautista. I'm pretty sure.
I loved him.
Because I only saw the first one once, but no, I don't think he's in it.
I loved the girl who played the mantis, Pam. I loved her. I loved. Okay, the director is James Gunn, and he was a screenwriter. He started out as a screenwriter and director. He did Slither. Did you like that?
Yeah, I did like that.
And was a screenwriter for Scooby Doo, and so I thought I could see how
Those
he would
two kind of come together.
come
yeah.
with this, you
Yeah.
know.
And he's already signed on to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
But look, I'm reading down this list like here's like 10 or 12 characters that are major, and there were even more than that. So you're right, there's too many characters.
It's too much. It has that feeling like in Spider-Man 3, where they have too many villains. You have Venom and Sandman and Goblin 2, and it's like, all right,
You
too
don't need
much,
it.
too much. Same with the third X-Men movie. Felt the same way. It's just
Right.
like overload of all these new characters, and it's like just focus on the core group and the core villain. But it just feels a little cluttered.
I thought Kurt Russell was good in it. Ego. But did you see at the beginning how they made him look young? They CGI'd his
Yep.
face.
It reminded me a lot of what they did with
Jeff Bridges and Blade Runner.
Well, in Tron, I didn't think it looked that real, but when they did Robert Downey Jr. and Captain America: Civil War, I thought it looked really real.
Really cool. So
Yes,
that was fun.
really good.
But what do you think? Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely popcorn worthy, especially if you like the first one. I like Kurt Russell as well, but I think that part could have been played by almost anyone.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be.
But was he
someone
in the
that-
first one?
No.
No. Okay. But still, somebody out there tell me what Sylvester Stallone roles was.
What is he doing in the movie? I just don't know.
He pops up twice, and I'm sure he got paid a fortune. I have no idea.
Yep.
But I think that little rocket raccoon needs its own movie.
Rocket Raccoon is great.
It was cute.
I agree.
So I definitely would say it's popcorn worthy. Just know that it's too many characters, and it's probably 15, 20 minutes too long.
Yep.
That's what I'd say about that.
Which there's a problem with a lot of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They don't need to all be this long, drawn out, epic thing, but they're always close to 2.5 hours.
Could a child see this?
I think so.
I mean,
it's a little more serious than the first one, but I still think it's pretty family
because I thought
friendly.
they would love that little Root character.
Yeah,
and they
Baby
love
Groot
the raccoon.
kind of steals the show. Yeah, Baby Groot's great, but yeah, the Rocket Raccoon is. I think it's definitely kid friendly.
But was there anything inappropriate in it? I don't really think so.
No,
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I would say it's on par with like a Star Wars type.
I probably
I would actually say The Force Awakens was a much darker movie than Guardians of the
Yes.
Galaxy 2.
I know, but I did think about you in Star Wars.
Yeah,
But that I would not have seen this if my son hadn't really wanted to.
you kind of got dragged to it.
Yeah, and
Did you see it in 3D?
No,
It's one I recommend seeing in 3D.
Okay, well we're not 3D fans.
That's right. You don't like the.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who
The
don't like it.
glasses hurt my head.
Yeah,
But
I love it. I'll see Alien Covenant
will?
IMAX 3D for sure.
what was it that I saw that you like? I didn't like Independence Day. Did you like that?
I did.
And I saw it in 3D, and that was kind of fun because all of a sudden that spaceship goes
Yes.
over your head. You're like,
It's pretty cool. Force
I-
Awakens was great 3D too.
yes. But the glasses bother my eyes.
Yeah.
They need to work on that.
My girlfriend doesn't really like the glasses either, and I do. So we split it. Sometimes we'll do 3D, the other time we won't. But
Well, if they're plastic, they kind of hurt.
they kind of pinch.
and I have to put them over my hair.
They are a little annoying. I'll admit they're slightly cumbersome, but I
You're
do
a
enjoy
little
the
OCD
experience.
like me too, though.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
surprised
true.
it doesn't bug you.
Well, one thing I don't like about 3D is it's always really fun in the beginning, but it seems like after about a half hour you forget that it's
Right.
3D. You're not
I know.
getting the full benefit anymore. But
Remember a couple years ago when everything was 3D, and I was
Everything.
like, I thought, is this going to happen now? Is everything going to? But it didn't. It went away.
I loved though when they were doing horror movies in 3D, and I wish they'd still do it. They had My
Ooh.
Bloody Valentine. They had Piranha 3D. That I loved seeing those in 3D.
What's My Bloody Valentine? I don't know that.
It's actually a remake about a serial murderer in a mining community. I'm not sure exactly where it's located, but that's
writing that on my list.
Yeah,
Kevin.
My Bloody Valentine. Check out the original, and then My Bloody Valentine 3D came out. I want to say 6 years ago, something like that, maybe more.
Okay, speaking of serial killers, which you and I love those kind of movies. We
We
don't
do.
know why. You told me about a show I need to see. There were 2 movies, Wolf Creek, and there's a show based on Wolf Creek. now
Yes.
That I need to see. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, I'd kind of forgotten about Wolf Creek. The original came out in 2005.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know.
And it's I very rarely think a movie's scary, but this movie was genuinely scary. It came out in 2005. I saw it in the theater. It takes place in the Australian outback, and it centers around the fact that 38,000 people annually, roughly, go missing in the Australian outback. 90%.
Now, is this true?
Yes, this is true. 90% are found within the first 90 days. But still, 10% of
That are
38,000
hike
is a
off
lot
and-
that you never see again.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, pretty much anything that moves and crawls in the Australian outback can kill you.
Yeah.
So these it's about a group who's backpacking out there. They're going to the Wolf Creek Crater. It's like a touristy spot. They get into some car trouble, and what seemingly yes, of course, and cell phones don't work.
Yeah.
A
And a
very
beautiful girl runs off into the desert.
2 beautiful girls,
Yeah.
and there's and one guy, of course, and then this very pleasant, happy Australian native comes along who's like your classic, almost like a Crocodile Dundee, like very funny character who offers to give him a tow back to his place where I'll help, and so he's basically working on their car. And I don't remember, they eat or something. They end up being drugged. They pass out and they wake up in this horrible thing, and he's basically killing everyone. He's this serial killer who hunts backpackers in the Australian outback.
Oh.
So it's almost like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Australia. In a sense.
And so this was in the theater, or 1 and 2?
Yeah, and then 2 came out much later in 2013, so years later, and they have John Jarrett who plays Mick Taylor. He's the killer, and I saw it too, and I'd kind of forgotten about it, but I saw that it was on Netflix the other day, and I'm like, I'm going to pop on Wolf Creek. And so
it's on what, Netflix?
Wolf Creek 2 is on Netflix.
Okay, just not the first one.
Just
though?
not the first
one. Shoot, okay.
Which I also watched again recently because I'm obsessed with Wolf Creek
Yeah.
now. So I watched the second one and I'm like, man, I love this character and this story because the director says the most interesting thing about it is the killer himself. He's the star, really.
Right. Now, if I watched it on Netflix, could I pick up since I haven't seen the first one? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could, but the first one's better.
Okay.
Just, I will admit the first one is better. So then I'm looking around and I remember seeing something about a Wolf Creek TV show. And so I Googled it and I was reading about it and I saw that it has John Jarrett as Mick Taylor and it's a whole 6-hour series just based on the Wolf Creek movies. It's a continuation, takes place after the events of Wolf Creek 2. And I'm like, all right, I'll rent. I was just going to rent an episode, but I saw the whole season's only $6 on Vudu. So I rented the whole thing, and I knocked out the first 4 episodes in one night. Like, I could not stop watching it. It's just like if there was Wolf Creek 3, except it's a TV series. So you get to watch more and more.
And are they going to keep going?
And it was just renewed for a second season and a confirmed Wolf Creek 3. So plenty of Wolf Creek coming out. But yeah, if you like dark, gory, serial killer, scary stuff, it's really good. And I had no idea how they would parlay that into a TV series, but they did a really good job with it. It captures that feeling of the films really well. Plus, you have the main actor who plays the killer from the films.
Is in the show.
Same writer and same directors and everything. Yeah. It's not like Lethal Weapon, where you have a couple of it's recast and done completely different. This is done just like the movies.
Wait, Lethal Weapon was made into a TV show?
Yeah, and it's terrible.
I had no idea.
Everything that's cool about the Lethal Weapon movies, they took out of the TV show.
Idea. Okay, so I don't understand live streaming. I know how to do Netflix. But I know so many things you can watch other ways. What is Vudu?
Okay, so I use Roku primarily to stream things.
Okay, what is Roku? Is that something I hook
It's like
up to
an
my
Apple
phone?
TV. You plug it into the back of your TV to your HDMI.
Okay.
And then it has a bunch of different applications on it. Like I use Sling TV. It has Netflix on there. It has Hulu, Amazon Prime, and then Vudu is one I didn't know of because you can search from the main menu any app that has a movie that you want to watch. So I just searched one day a movie, and I don't remember what it was, and then it pops up and it says available on Vudu if you create an account, which I did. Just signed into my PayPal, and then you can just rent a movie for $2, and it's great.
So this is what we've talked about. So eventually, everything can be streamed through your TV but hopefully there won't have to be something like a Roku. Hopefully the TVs will, like my remote control has Netflix on it.
My TV has the one in here in the studio has a built-in Roku in it, so that it's all one thing, and I don't have to actually buy a separate device and plug it in.
Well, so that's what they're talking about here at Vocal Media is eventually people will be able to watch our show on their TV.
Correct. We will have that option. The way you find your Netflix and your HBO Go and all that, there'll be a Vocal tile
and they can find Libby's Movie Hunt on,
exactly,
which is pretty cool. But that's so. Wow. I just hope they make it easy. Like, my TVs all now have a Netflix on them, so you just push the red Netflix button and you can watch it.
Right.
I mean,
it's getting easier and easier.
I just hope
for sure.
we don't have to go out and buy like a Roku. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. No, I love the one that comes with my TV. It's all on the same remote. I have my Netflix button, my Sling button. Yeah, that's the way to go.
This is cool. Okay, well, I think I could figure that out. I think I could get it. Are we getting close to the end? We probably are.
We are. Actually, we only have about a minute left.
Okay, well, I'm going definitely. How could I watch the first Wolf Creek, do you think? Where could I find it?
I rented it on Vudu.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, shoot, Netflix needs to put it on there.
And I think there are other ones that do the same thing. Like you mentioned Fandango earlier. I believe they have an app on there you can also rent from.
Fandango?
Really? You can rent movies from there. I think there's a couple other ones. Vudu is just the one that was easiest for me because I could just punch in my PayPal info, and I don't have to get on my credit card and punch all that stuff in. So that was the most user-friendly I could find.
To learn these things from you young people, y'all know. My parents are using Netflix now. I'm so proud of it. Well, it's on their TV, it's on their remote, so they can do it. But they're like, tell us what we should be watching on Netflix now. You know, they have.
Oh, I forgot. Every week I'll have Netflix recommendations for you. I promise you that.
Yes.
And HBO Go. Those are my two favorites.
I haven't done that. I recommend right now The Fall with Jamie Doran. It's about a serial killer. I think we've talked about it on Netflix.
I definitely need to check that out.
It's a good one. So I guess that's it, Kevin.
That's it.
Now go enjoy the movies and some television. See you next time.